Hello, my name is Patrice Lucas. I'm a licensed mental health counselor and I own my own private practice called Indigo Transitions. And under that same umbrella, I have a social advocacy program called Coffee with a Counselor. In my work at Indigo Transitions, I say I work with everyone from the cradle to the grave, and I call myself a community counselor because I step into the community and work very closely with a lot of organizations in the Detroit and metropolitan community to really service each and every person in the community. When I say I work with everybody from the cradle to the grave in my individual family and couples counseling, it means that I work with the mamas and the babas as they transition into parenthood and support them through the birth, delivery, and then postpartum, the first year of the baby's life, and then well into the family's cycle of life. And then on the other end of that spectrum, I also am a grief doula and support many individuals as they transition and end and in the end of life process. And I, of course, support the families, the grieving families, and the grieving communities here in Detroit as well. I also am the resident and founding counselor at Where Do Black Women Go to Grieve, which is in alignment with my work as a grief doula. So that's my work. My clients or customers are the community, the metropolitan Detroit community at large. I work with so many different organizations in the community to be able to provide the mental health support, but also a lot of other just general wellness and health supports. My biggest goal with Coffee with a Counselor is to meet anywhere groups gather and be that community counselor that goes and really does reduce the stigma of mental health care and mental illness in our community. And I always like to say I work in such a way where I raise the health of the community, but I also want to make talking about mental health as common as buying a cup of coffee. So that's why I have the social advocacy program called Coffee with a Counselor. I can't caffeinate children, so when I work with young people, I have Cocoa with a Counselor, which does healing circles, workshops. I facilitate discussions. I lecture, I teach, I do keynotes, all of those things to really bring more conversations about mental health, wellness, and elevate the health of our community the best of my ability. So I think that covers everything. That's who I am, the work that I do. If I was to be able to be provided a grant and funding and mentorship, I would absolutely use the funding to scale my business. I've been in business 9 years and 9 months, and next year it'll be the 10-year mark. I started on a hope and a prayer, as most small businesses do, but I started the business with little to no resources, no training to start the business. I was in business in my previous work as a business analyst, computer scientist at Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan for 16 years. So I had a lot of business experience, but that was on the corporate level. I scaled a lot of the things that I learned there down to start my own practice and start my own business. But it was just by myself. I had no resources, no capital, no funding, nothing that would allow me to go and really get the support and help I need to make my business even more successful, but also scalable and really grow in the ways that it needs to grow and deserves to grow, so I can continue to help and support the business, the community. One of the things that I will do with the funding is I want to work on some professional development. I have so many books inside of me that would help to serve the community and really be able to take my work out of individual or corporate or different settings and bring it to the rest of the community and the rest of the world even. So I want to do some professional development around writing books and also other therapeutic literatures. I also want to start a product line for my business. So many of my clients, so often when I'm speaking, people are always like, do you have a product? Do you have a book? Do you have a journal? Do you have a this? And I don't have any of those things. And so that's what the grant would really be able to provide for me, the scalability to make my business even more successful and offer those product lines, right? We always talk about passive income because passive income really does create the space where you can invest in other areas of your business and really grow it in the way that you want it to. And so that's what I'm interested in. I am also interested in just learning and growing. I want not only to be able to have a operational product line, but I know that there are some operational areas in my business that could use some support, particularly around accounting, particularly around record keeping, and kind of more of the operational parts of my business. I did an amazing job. I'm going to give myself kudos for keeping it sustainable and healthy and legal and all those things for the last 9.5 years. But I know there's some area of improvement, and I want some support. I need some support in those areas. So I look forward to being supported by the organization in general, but I also know that being being a part of the mentorship and receiving funding would also help greatly. Thank you so much. Thanks for listening. I hope to see you soon.